In Star Wars Legends, the history of the Sith is layered and in-depth, while in canon, we know next to nothing about the Ancient Order's origins. All we truly know about the Sith in Star Wars canon is their current philosophy, from Sith Lords such as Darth Sidious and Darth Vader being our guides and our teachers along the way. The entire Old Republic era in Star Wars canon seems to be an utter mystery. Now, this will likely not always be the case, but at least for the time being, we know very little about various ancient Sith Lords, let alone the origins of the Sith race. Just briefly in canon, the Sith philosophy was formed when a group of dark Jedi were exiled, after this group of Jedi actually originally turned to the dark side of the Force, believing that they needed to use the dark side of the Force in order to achieve the greatest power for the Jedi Order. There were always the Sith species and the original Sith race that reigned in the Star Wars galaxy, but the true Sith Lords did not arrive until the dark Jedi fought their Jedi brethren and were eventually exiled, encountering the Sith race. This is where the first true Sith Lords originated. In canon though, it appears as if the origins of the Sith are very similar to this one from Legend, and we just got confirmation that the Sith actually stemmed from the Jedi Order itself, just as it did in Legends as well. And by the comments made by the ancient holocron that we'll discuss in just a second that we learned about in the comic book, it sounds as if the origins may be identical or very similar. It was in the 2015 comic Star Wars number 9 where we learned and glimpsed the true origins of the Sith in a passing holocron line, when Luke Skywalker actually steals a holocron from a Hutt crime lord and opens it, learning some of the origins of the Jedi and the Sith. One of the holocrons that Luke Skywalker finds belonged to Master Fin La Wo. And the holocron said this: "Once we were all brothers in the Force, but from the 100-year darkness were born the Sith." The 100-year darkness is in fact something that occurred in Legends continuity as well, as this comic book that we just discussed is Star Wars canon. This is pretty much everything we know about the 100-year darkness in canon. Thousands of years before the Clone Wars, the Jedi Order and the individuals who would become the Sith were considered brothers in the Force. This fractured, however, during the period of time known as the 100-year darkness, when a rogue Jedi came to believe that the true power of the Force lay not through contemplation and passivity, and only that by tapping into the dark side could they use its true potential, and their true potential be reached. The Jedi High Council at the time scoffed at this new direction, and the fallen Jedi was cast out from the Order, but he gained followers and formed a new order, which would eventually become the Sith. In The Last Jedi, Luke Skywalker even briefly mentioned this, indicating that he does actually know something about the origins of the Sith, and the fact that the original Sith Lord in the Star Wars galaxy actually came from the Jedi Order, and that chronologically the Jedi came first, with the first Sith Lord being a Jedi himself. Lesson 2. Now that they're extinct, the Jedi are romanticized, deified, but if you strip away the myth and look at their deeds, from the birth of the Sith to the fall of the Republic, the legacy of the Jedi is failure, hypocrisy, hubris. The birth of the Sith led to countless wars between the two rival sects. The Sith were believed to have been destroyed before the invasion of Naboo, however, in the events of Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace, but they eventually returned to galactic prominence and ushered in the Clone Wars era. Both sides of the war were controlled by Darth Sidious, known publicly as Supreme Chancellor Sheev Palpatine, which allowed him to gain power over the galaxy to transform the Galactic Republic into the Galactic Empire. This led to decades of Sith rule over the galaxy, which lasted until Sidious's death during the Battle of Endor, or at least supposed death. As far as Legends continuity is concerned, this is what it says about the 100-year darkness in that version of Star Wars. The 100-year darkness, also known as the Second Great Schism, was a conflict that began in 7000 BBY and lasted approximately until 6900 BBY, approximately 100 years, when a group of dark Jedi created monstrous armies to battle the Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic. The 100-year darkness began 3 years after the Dark Jedi split from the Order in the Second Great Schism. After 10 decades of fighting, the Dark Jedi lost the war at the Battle of Corbus, but went on to conquer Korriban and founded the Sith Order. Anyway guys, I just wanted to share with all of you that in fact in Star Wars canon, the Jedi created the Sith, and that the 100-year darkness that occurred in Legends is actually canon. If you guys would like a full story detailing the 100-year darkness, please like the video, and I'll do my best to produce one. As always, my friends, thank you so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.